Howdy all, grab yourselves a beer, it is time for some Path of Exile. And in this video I've had a couple of requests for more gameplay footage of the Chaos Damage, Cold Damage Chaos Inoculation Occultist. So I've had this rather ugly looking 8 mod tier 16 map that I rolled up for my daily Nico. It doesn't actually have the Hydra on it. If you have a look at my atlas you'll see that it's got my daily Nico, but it's also occupied by the Constrictor, which means that the fight with the boss will take place in the Constrictor's island. Because it's got Nico on it, I'm throwing in 3 sacrifice fragments to add more quantity. It's got the 8% quantity from Zana rather than using a Zana mod. And let's give this a shot. So monsters are gaining frenzy charges. Monsters are gaining frenzy charges, have more life. I've got elemental equilibrium, which kind of does suck on this build. But basically it's one of the tankier setups you'll encounter for monsters with a fair amount of extra damage, but nothing super lethal. Oh, that's always fun. I've just picked up I'm not actually using Headhunter, I don't own one this league, but I've just had the prophecy go off that causes you to gain a Headhunter buff. I thought I had insane speed for a second then. I believe I may have, I think this map has reduced flask charges. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. It's one of those mods that's rather innocuous. You don't really notice how much it messes with you until you start realizing just how much you use your flasks even just wandering around. In any case, I'm going to full clear this rather than just zoom to the objective. I think that gives a better sense. You'll notice that I'm using both Vortex, the close range, or the self-centered AoE, and also Cold Snap, which is the ranged AoE. I'm also using Stormbrand, which isn't a damage skill so much as a way of proccing Onslaught. I'm going to do this silly thing. I am full on memories at the moment, but there's still a lot of extra bonus monsters to kill. Always take that. Here it is. Here's the exit. And now let's just go and kill more monsters until the timer runs out. These constrained corridors are they're good for dealing with strong monsters. I can't find anything else. Good for dealing with strong monsters via virtue of Vortex and Cold Snap, but the build's a bit lacking in ways for dealing with weak monsters in those areas. Closest I've got is my Vile Fireball, but doesn't quite do enough damage for when you're not able to chain it off a lot of monsters. As I've mentioned a bit on the YouTube comments on the build guide, I think Vile Fireball is probably the wrong choice. It's just so damn much fun. Like, that's fun. Is watch those fireballs bouncing around everywhere, burning everything alive. Okay. Tormented Spirits are surprisingly dangerous in 8 mod maps. I always tend to underestimate them and then regret it. I do like getting almost 6,000 sulfite in a zone like this. You should be, if you are viling your tier 16s, you should be saving at least one of each 8 mod for when Nico spawns on them. Because it will happen, and when it does, it's juicy. Alright, stupid Herald of the Obelisk pack. I'm tanky enough not to fear these unless they're all in one place, but then you do need to respect them. This Abyss, this will be dangerous. But it's gone backwards, that makes it a lot easier. These are a lot more dangerous when they go forwards and into an area you haven't yet explored that's got a whole lot of monsters in it. Volatile Flameblight on top of me and a Lightning Mirage. Oh, nice. I got a. I'll come back to that. That's a Abyssal Depths. They're not exciting enough to really show off, because even though they're monster level 84 in here, the fights in there, unless there's a Lich, will be considerably easier than the trash monsters here. There's our last soul fight. Disappointing 1500, but still, that's enough to go delving for a bit. Now, the Constrictor is going to... Well, the Elder is going to come, slaughter the Hydra for me, and then I'll go onto a separate island to fight the Constrictor. Constrictor is the easiest of the Elder Guardians, I think, for most builds, and certainly for this one. It's really, really easy. So watch me screw it up now. I always used to think that this attack could kill you from the Elder there. It can't. You notice he has this big charge-up attack. Because I'm Chaos Inoculation, even when it does hit me, it's not that bad. This is his nastiest one. And that. But they're hybrid physical and chaos, and I'm immune to chaos. At least I think they're hybrid phys chaos. Here he brings up his clones. Because you just hit everything at once with this build, they're really easy to deal with. You'll notice I'm having mana issues, sort of always do. And I'm using a mana flask, which is never a satisfying way to deal with mana problems. So it always feels like the method of last resort. I also have my focus skill. But anyways, that is a tier 16 8 mod map with an Elder Guardian, which are a bit easier than the Shaper Guardians. Done. Any questions? Ask below.